Hello and welcome to Tash Life 2 and welcome to my kitchen. You finally made it here. Today we are dehydrating some broccoli and cauliflower stems and a couple of lemons, and then we're going to make some veggie powder with some dehydrated broccoli and cauliflower. So let's get into it. The dehydrator that I have, I just bought on Marketplace, and it is a Sunbeam Healthy Food Dryer. Probably cost me like $30. There's lots of them out there, or you can buy new, whatever you want to do. Now in this particular one, it has like a hair dryer situation here. I don't have a lot of settings, it's just on and off. And then we have the trays, which are like racks, and that is what we put the food on. And we have this bit in the bottom that catches bits and pieces as it falls through. So the first thing we're going to do is slice these lemons up. I have washed all of these in soapy water and rinsed them off. So that's important. You don't want bacteria getting into the food. Unwanted bacteria. Some bacteria is good. And I'm sorry if my head keeps getting chopped off. I'm still trying to work out the filming in the kitchen situation. It's not easy to find a good angle, I guess you could say. So I'm just putting that in there. Everything is touching, but it's not overlapping. The thickness, it's not too thick, it's not too thin, and you can leave little gaps between them. It will just dehydrate faster. Leave that bit out. You can take the seeds out. As a matter of fact, I'll probably recommend you take the seeds out first before you dehydrate it. No. This one's got a few seeds. Just pop them out. Now I have, that's all the lemons that I have at the moment. I have just used the bottom tray for those. But I did want to show this because I find it quite interesting. These lemons have been hanging around in my drawer for a little while, but the seeds are starting to germinate inside the lemon. You can see that. I've never seen it before. I mean, I'm sure it happens. We all get more lemons, don't we? So with this, we're going to get another tray, and I'm just going to chop that end off, and any bits that are a bit sort of dry and crusty. Now we can do the leaves. We can dehydrate the leaves. If you have some broccoli that's going a bit yellow, I would wash it up and do that, but you don't want to cut it too small or too big. So it's just you know, I mean about the length of my the width of my little finger. And you just spread them all out so they're not touching. When it just gets, you think that it's full enough, just grab another tray. Okay, and this is a cauliflower stem. You can steam these and eat them, same with broccoli, but the broccoli tastes just like broccoli, but the cauliflower has a bit of a different taste. It's a bit more bitter. This part's a bit more bitter. So that's all I have to put in there today. I'm going to put the other tray on just because it's part of it, and then you just plug it in and turn it on, and you'd probably leave it on overnight, I would say, and check it in the morning. I'll bring you back and have a look. You can have a look and see what it's like in the morning. But I'll put that to the side. Okay, now to blend it into a powder like this, and this is a veggie powder. I just add it now to blend this into a powder like this. This is a veggie powder. I just add this to everything I can add it to. My kids don't always eat vegetables as they should, like most kids. So if I can add extra veggies to anything, I do find, because this is broccoli and cauliflower, I do find you have to be not too heavy-handed with it, because it will put a broccoli sort of cauliflower taste through things. But I've added it to omelettes and things like that, and it's been undetectable. So you do have to be careful how much you put in. You can't just go ham with it. You can for your own food, but not for the kids. But you can grind them up in a blender like this. But I found that when I did that, this is the Breville one. I can't speak for other ones like NutriBullet, but the dust was getting all into the this part. Brain's not working. Into this part down here, and it was making it very hard to open and close. Not only that, it kind of sandblasted the inside of our cup. See, these were brand new, and you can see the difference. This one's all frosted down the bottom now. That is from blending up the veggie powder, and I can feel the texture on it too. So I don't use this one anymore because I don't want it to get damaged. You can use a blender like this. That's fine. I mean, this is glass. It's not going to get sandblasted. But I did find it a bit hard to get the powder out from around the blade and everything. It was a bit difficult because when you blend it, it does sort of gets a bit sticky and sticks to itself. So you can use this, that's fine, but I just find it a bit difficult. The other thing that I've been using is just a cheap coffee grinder. This is the Kmart brand. You know, it's cheap. You do have to be careful because it's cheap, but you know, it just grinds it up and it's finer. And you know, if your grinder breaks, it's like 20 bucks or something. So that's that. So what we need to do, I have preset my oven to the lowest temperature it can go, which is 50 degrees Celsius. So that is preheating. So that's one of the things you need to do. And I'm just putting a little bit in at a time. Probably that much. I think it has a max line, so we don't want to go past that because we don't want to break. We don't want this to die on us. So I've done that, and I'm just going to take it off screen here and blend it. So I'll be back in a second. Okay. So I've got this little tiny spatula. Not all of it is, there are still some lumps in there, but there's still a lot of fine, see there, still a lot of fineness. So what I'm probably going to do is just pick out the lumps and put them back in. They might be a bit harder, maybe. Back in a sec. Okay, so I had some trouble with the coffee grinder. It did 1 cup, but then I couldn't get it to go again. So I don't know if it overheated after doing 1 cup, but that will be going back to the store. So I have done it, the rest of it, in my big blender, and you will see it doesn't get it quite as fine. I'll do this one to the side so you can see the difference. So you can see it is not quite as fine as this one, but that's okay. It'll still work. You know, all these little things will hydrate and disappear into the food. Now, things to note when you're blending with anything, whatever you use to blend your powder. If you can, always start off with pulsing, because that will stop your machine from being under so much pressure. So always start with pulsing. The other thing to note is that when it's finished, when you've blended it enough for how long you want to blend it for, keep the lid on it for a while, because there's all like a dust inside, and if you take the lid off, the dust will start to come out. So leave the lid on for a little while, just let it sit there and settle down. Now, what we're going to do with this, I spread it all out on the tray with, this is Easy Bake from Glad Wrap. It's like this one here, baking paper. I'm sure there's lots of other brands around. And what we're going to do, I've preheated the oven to 50 degrees, that's the lowest it can go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off, and I'm definitely not going to run the fan, because if you run the fan, this will just blow around. So just turn the oven off completely and just sit this in there. I like to put it on the bottom shelf or the middle shelf. And if you can start to smell it, that means it's cooking and it's too hot. You don't want to smell it. You don't want to cook it. We're just drying it again. If you have a dehydrator that has a setting with no fan, you can use that. But mine is just a fan, it's pretty much like a glorified hairdryer. So it will just blow the dust around everywhere. So you don't want the fan, you don't want it on You just want the residual heat, and if you can start to smell the food, then maybe leave the door open a little bit. It's just too hot. It just means it's too hot. It's starting to cook. So, turning this off. So all we're doing is just drying it again to make sure that there's no more moisture in it, so that when it stores, it's still like this. Like if it's sticking to the bottom, if it's sticking, it's got moisture in it. And if it's got moisture in it, you're going to get mold, and you don't want that. Even one little mold, the whole lot is no good. You know, you can't just pick it off the top. The whole lot is no good. So we don't want mold. So that's that. I will come back. I'll bring you back when that has finished dehydrating, and I'll show you how I put it into the little container. And yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, so we're back. This has been in the oven for probably an hour, and I've had it out the oven for probably another hour. So it is completely cool, absolutely cool. There's no warmth left in it at all. You don't want it to be warm, and you know, you can do this any old way that you think is best to get it in there, but this is the way that I have found is easiest. Is that. I'm probably just going to mix the two together. But what you probably want to do every time you use it is just turn it around and make sure that it's not sticking anywhere. If it's starting to stick somewhere, then do this step again with the oven. Just make sure you keep the moisture out. I believe you can get some of those moisture sachets from somewhere and put them in, but I don't know where to get them. So, but I think that, you know, the people that do a lot of this kind of stuff all the time, I think that's what they use. They get them from somewhere. So yeah, that's that. You probably only want to do a few months worth at a time, like powder up a few months at a time, and keep the rest in a larger form like I did, like I had at the beginning of the video. But that's it for now. We'll come back and show you what the stuff looks like tomorrow morning, dehydrated. That will be the next bit. Okay, so this is the next day, and it has been probably an hour and a half since I turned it off. So everything in here should be fairly cool now. So this is what we're looking like. So this is the little leaf. I put a little leaf in. And this is all cauliflower. You can see it's quite brittle now. And here's some cauliflower, broccoli, and the lemon. I'll show you what the lemon looks like. Oh, that's too much. There we go. So how dark this goes depends on the type of lemon. I think the ones that have more sugar in them seem to go really dark. But you can see it's brittle.
It's not soft. It's not like bendy or anything like that. It's all pretty hard and brittle. So what we're going to do now is put them into a glass jar. Okay, so we've got some clean glass jars here. They're not sterilised or anything like that. They're just very clean and very dry. And you just pop them in like this. Make sure they're nice and sealed. Get all that goodness in. I'm just going to be powdering them anyway, so the more the better. Now this is probably too big. It's best to get the right size container for your product. Hang on a minute. Okay, so I've got a smaller jar here. You can see, oh, it's a little small. I think it is smaller, but, and we're just going to chip that in. So it's a bit better. It's a bit better of a situation. I'm probably just going to powder these up in a few days anyway. So, but in the long run, I'd probably have to change that to a smaller glass. Make sure it's nice and sealed, because we don't want air getting in there. And this one's probably way too big for the cauliflower and broccoli because it has gone down quite a lot. So I've got this. This is probably still too big, but it used to be like a Master Food spice container, one of the bigger ones, like this. I don't know if they have this brand everywhere, but they have it in Australia. So it's just an empty one of those. Yeah. So I'm just going to put the cauliflower and broccoli into that one. Okay, so that is how much we got from that. And you saw how much I cut up. That was 2 broccoli stems and a cauliflower stem. So, you know, I'll seal that up, and when I'm getting low on my the powder that we did the other day, the powder we did yesterday, when I'm getting low on that, then I've got these ready to go to blend up. And I can add, you know, as I get more stems and, like, I don't know, maybe some soft carrots or something like that, I can do those and add them to it, put them in a bigger jar if I want, or have a second jar going. Yeah, these jars seem to be quite good at sealing. They are made for spices and things. So, yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.